the new show is
The Good Life.
The Good Life. Is the kickoff from this the stroke?
So the beginning of it is I'm walking with my daughter home from school, and we see like a smoke shop, and called The Good Life, and she's like, "Dad, what's the good life?" And I'm like, "I don't even know. It's not what I'm doing." And then I'm trying to explain drugs and and sex and all these things that are like religion and big things. And then I kind of go into a lot of flashbacks about my dad, and then in the middle of all that, like my dad has a stroke, and I'm kind of coming to grips with the fact that like, my dad, like we had a stilted relationship for like, I would say most of my life. And it's weirdly only now, like in his final phase of life where like I'm starting, like I said, like it has calmed him down, the stroke, it has. Like he used to shout so much. It wouldn't be every day, but it would be enough that you'd be like on edge. Like, is it gonna happen today?
Yeah.
The joke I say in the show is that he'd be like, "Where are my goddamn keys?" And we'd all be like, "We gotta find Dad's keys." Oh. Like I spent my whole life looking for those keys. I jumped through a window to find those keys. And but like that was my, that was a lot of it. And then I was, now that my dad is dying, like in his final phase of life, like you really do realize like he's just a person, and he was probably doing his best, and we're all doing our best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It is like seeing your parent in that stage puts so much in perspective.
So much. That realization as you age that your parents were just two people walking around Earth. Like, because, for so long, it's supposed to be that way. When you're a kid, you're like, these people are here for me.
Yeah.
They're special beings.
That's right.
That are for me. And then as you get older, you're like, that's just a dude. My dad's just a guy who ran into this lady and they had me. Like, they're just trying to figure it out.
I'll see my dad reach. Oh yeah, those are my parents.
They're good looking people.
Good looking folks. I'll see my dad like picking up like a cup or something, and I'll just be like, that's sort of like me. Like you go, oh yeah, he's a human struggling with this thing, and that kind of reminds me of my own physicality even.
Is he close to you now? Like, does he live in New York also?
No, he lives in Rhode Island. So
Okay.
I'm going home like every few weeks on the train, and that's where my brother and sister live.
Oh, they live there?
Yeah,
Okay.
which is hard for them.
Yeah.
It's hard for my mom. It's just hard.
Yeah.
Like the way America deals, the healthcare system deals with like end of life stuff is not
it's atrocious.
good.
No.
There's this book Atal Gawande wrote called Being Mortal. You ever read that?
Mm-mm.
It's really good, but it's all about how he kind of opens by saying like India gets a lot of things wrong in medicine, but like the thing they get right is like end of life, because they treat it like it's special, and like essentially you're like letting someone go. And like in America, we're like, we need to prop him up and put him on stilts and shock his body and all this shit, because just to keep someone alive, but like barely alive, and so much of their body doesn't work. You can't walk, you can't stand. It's like so many things are brutal. Doesn't remember what happened in the last year.
It's a really hard thing.
So hard. Yeah.
I don't want any of that. I don't know what to do about it. I don't want to go to like a facility. I do want to buy a house maybe for comedians, and like we can just hire like a staff.
Condo.
Yeah, comedy condo. The last comedy condo.
That's what we call it, the last comedy condo.
And if you've been a comedian, and you can come there and we'll all convalesce and die together. And how much fun.
This is the best idea I've heard in years.
Great idea.
Because you've had a few laughs, and you go back to your room, and then
it would be like sitting at the table, except you live there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And drugs. It has drugs.
So many drugs.
Yeah.
Prostitution.
That's we're joking about it, but it's legitimately
It's a good
like
idea.
a solid idea.
Thank you.
Just like
Let's do
dilaudid
it.
whenever you want it. Just go,
We don't have, because comedians don't have insurance.
No.
We don't have anything.
no.
No.
We don't have loved ones. We don't love anyone.
No.
We're not loved.
No, I don't have family.
It's a party pad.
No one likes us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of. I don't have family like you and the kids. I don't want to burden my children.
No, of
And
course
you're going to
not.
hopefully die before me.
Hopefully.
Oh my God.
We'll see.
I don't know, man. I'm feeling pretty good about my odds.
I know. Fucking.
Yeah.
I know. I kind of.
Really?
I had cancer
Women-
early.
I know,
I'm
but
48.
I know,
Tit
but
cancer, though,
women-
not in my organs.
Exactly.
And not invasive.
No, I think you're in the clear.
I think so.
But the seasoning's there, it's already marinated.
No. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Let's get my dad on the phone. He can explain.
It'll take a few hours. Can he talk?
He can
is
talk,
his
yeah. So
speech-
I talked. I basically ended up talking to him about. I just asked him questions about his childhood. I grew up in Bushwick in the 1940s, and it's just like you realize, or I've realized through this thing of like, oh, I didn't ask my dad enough questions.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just didn't. I should have just let him go.
Can I tell you something? I tried this with my dad.
Really?
When I was 28, we went to the Dominican Republic together.
Yeah.
Last vacation he and I took together alone.
Yeah.
And I tried it. And I was like, Dad, do you think that your traumatic upbringing in communist Hungary may have affected
I can
you
see where this is going.
emotionally? And he was like, no. Okay, next question.
Oh
like, do
my
you
God.
regret leaving your mom? Like, my
We gotta-
mom? No, not really. Like, there's no cognition.
We got to get you on working it out. We're gonna work this into a bit. Have you done that as a bit? Because it's so funny. Like my podcast, working it out. Literally, the whole premise is people come on and we talk about stories. and it's like,
dude.
how could
That's
that
a
be a
great
bit?
idea.
Dude, we got.
Yeah.
I want to do this.
Yeah,
Let's
come
do
on in New
it.
York.
Let's do it.
Come on in New York. But that's a great. No, but you guys come sometimes. You were there last
Sometimes.
month.
Yes.
From Madison Square Garden. But like, it's you guys should both come on and we should talk about bits because
You should
that's
definitely do that
That's
one.
fucking
Alright,
hilarious.
No self-awareness. Or
No
reflection.
self-awareness.
Like, but one has to be capable of
That's the thing.
self-reflection
Yeah,
in order
not
to.
everybody is.
In order to answer those questions, Mike. Is
My
what I'm
dad was
saying.
like 72 when he was like, I think the war in Vietnam really affected me.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, what?
He fought in the war.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he always told combat stories and all
Oh
this
my
shit.
God.
And he's like, yeah. I think
72
I
years
go-
old.
I go, you think it affected you? He's like, I do. I was like, what the? Yeah. That's that generation's man, though. Is
No,
like,
I know.
they just go like, I think, because I think about those guys every day. I'm like, really? You've never said that.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, every day I think about the guys that I fought with and died. And I'm like, you're just saying this now? And he was like, yeah. He goes, I really think it affected me. I'm like, yeah. Like you saw like the
course.
worst shit in the world. you
Yeah.
know? And he's like, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I just figured that
What's
out.
for lunch?
Like,
yeah, just
Dum-da-dum.
Yeah, and then with my dad, like when I, 10, 20 years ago, I would get in the weeds of like arguing with him about politics or whatever. And it's like, who cares? Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
no.
This is not important what your politics and my politics are. What matters is like that there's a human connection and like, I don't know. That's my lesson of my 20s and 30s was like, don't talk about stuff like that with your parents. Just ask them about themselves.
Yeah, that's all I
that's
wanna
a really
talk
great
about.
point. You probably, if somebody actually digests what you're saying, it can save them a lot of heartache too.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to, because it's easy, like, especially some people have like super combative relationships where all they do is go, I want to talk about politics with like their dad.
Yeah.
And then they're like, 30 years went by and all we did was ever yell at each other,
Yeah, there's this moment, and especially where I talk about arguing with my dad about something, and I go, I realized my whole life I sort of wanted to be my dad, and at a certain point, I had decided I wanted him to be me.
Oh,
And it's like
wow, isn't that true?
That's like I feel like I've just realized that.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's a big one.
Because you're mad at them because they failed to meet your expectations.
Yeah.
Right, and who cares?
Like,
Who cares?
what? Like you
Has
wanted my
nothing-
mommy and daddy to be the way I wanted them to be, and they weren't. It's
Yeah.
Like, well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
You're not going to
What
do
Yeah,
fuck
and
are you
also
gonna do?
we're fucking up as parents. We're fucking up in ways that we do not understand yet,
We don't yet. Yeah.
and we're gonna find out.
Yeah. Our kids will be on this podcast. And
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
like my fucking dad.
Yeah.
My mom would say, "I'm not gonna do drugs. Fuck
Yeah.
drugs."
Yeah. Trying to, she would like quiz us at the dinner table.
That's
like, if we wanted
that's
to
a
do
funny
drugs
hack.
and
though.
stuff.
I like that.
Encouraging us to say the F word.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's one point where I just wanted them to write letters and stuff, and I would let them write curse words on menus and stuff,
Yeah.
just to start spelling and writing.
Good spelling exercise.
I kept
Curse
them.
words are great.
Yeah.
Well, I walked out of our house and I saw they'd taken chalk and written on this like wall, the garden wall, just like fuck
And then
shit.
Hungarian, yeah.
Oh yeah, Bozmeg.
That's solid.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, you just watched a YMH highlight. Did you love it? Why don't you have more fun? Click around. Click here, click there, click everywhere. Put a clicker in your beehole. Look, try it out. Have more fun. Why don't you subscribe? That way, every time a video drops, you can be notified. You don't have to think about it. Just do it, man. You're not going to miss a moment of denim. Pull your jeans up, subscribe.